Well, hey tubers, how you been? Doing pretty good myself. This is a little something different here. This is my RCA Selectavision CED video disc player and collection. Player and collection here. I know this is something a little different than what I normally do, but I'll give you a little bit of details of what this is. This is a obsolete media format from the early 80s that didn't last very long. The players lasted for about 3 years, and the disc lasted for about 5 years. What this is when it came out in 1981, it was such a flop that it, like I said, it only lasted 3 years in the players and 5 years for the discs. This is two different collections that I have purchased for $50 each. So I've got $100 in these discs. This player I bought separately because one of these collections come with a different player that did not work at all. There was something wrong with electronics. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. But I'll explain a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit. You can Google this stuff. But what happened is RCA started developing this media format in 1964, and it took them 17 years for this to come out on the market. It was obsolete as soon as it came out in the market. It was a great idea, but this was just super obsolete. VHS come around in the late 70s. Laserdisc come out in the late 70s, which Laserdisc never really, but Laserdisc was built all the way into the 90s. But VHS was the king. You had the Beta and VHS war and Laserdisc, and it really never had no Laserdisc. Just was kind of in the background, but it survived. But this is the only. I get maybe I said it in the early part. This is the only obsolete media format I've always been fascinated with because it was such a flop. There's a lot of people that's in beta, and VHSs are coming back, especially in the horror community. But this is super interesting. What this is let me find one here. Okay, some of these discs, like some of these are valuable, some of them are not. I think there was a total of maybe 1,500 to 1,700 movie titles released on this format. Let me show you one. This is the most valuable disc that I own. This is Back to the Future because it came out in 1985. Any film, it seems like a lot of the films that came out in 1985, this was released in the summer of, the film itself in theater was released in the summer of 1985, so the CED didn't come out until late 85, early 86, at the end of the era when they quit making them. And it plays okay. What this is each side of the disc would go in the player, and there's this little piece right here, see it's kind of loose, would pull the disc out of the caddy, and then you remove the caddy, and it would play the disc like a phonograph record with a needle. Each side would hold 60 minutes of video. So you would play half of the movie, turn it off, put it in there, flip it over, put it back in, and play the other half of the film. Let's put this back in here. Let me show you any film that's over 2 hours are put on two different discs. Let me find one here. I'm trying to find ones on two different discs. Here's A Star Is Born. The one from the 70s with Streisand in it. See, it's on two different discs. As you can see, if you can read, it says part 1 of 2 discs here, and then part 2 of 2 discs here. So this is kind of just awful, the film, it says 1 hour and 36 minutes. So that means there's 1 hour and 36 minutes on this, and then right here it says 45 minutes, one side only, color. See, there's the 1 and the 2 in the corners. I can get it in the shot here. So, where is another one? Now here's Star Wars. And you're probably thinking this is pretty valuable, but it's not. It's not. It's about one of the most worthless, valueless discs in the collection because these are so common. What happened is when they started flopping and not selling very well, they started including free discs. You know, if you buy a player, we'll give you a free disc. This is what they provided. So everybody had it. Everybody. And it's in stereo. But I do have all 3 Star Wars. I'll put them facing this way. Like I have the Emperor Strikes Back. It's only on 1 disc. And I have Return of the Jedi that's on 2 discs. And this is kind of valuable. Of the 3 Star Wars. Now this is actually pretty valuable. This is part 1 and part 2. There's another one. Okay, I'll tell you about. I bought one collection for $50. It come with a player, not this one. It was a stereo model. This is not a stereo. This plays mono, even the stereo discs. Which I don't know if I explained the stereo. The stereo, all the white discs that you see are in mono, and the stereo discs have the blue on it. And there's First Blood, this is alone. Here's Raiders of the Lost Ark in blue, stereo. Now some of these are in stereo and still white, like, let me pull it back out. See, it's stereo, but it's white. But this is when things they were at the end of the area. I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but, that was at the end of the era, and they were like, we'll throw them in white ones, maybe. There's part 5, Friday the 13th. There were 5 Friday the 13th released on CED, and I have all 5 of them. Let's see. Pull all of them out here. Okay. Part 1. Part 2. Part 3. Part 4. Part 5. Part 6 never got released on it. The format was gone. So, of the 5 Friday the 13th, Part 5 is most valuable. Let's see what else. I have Rocky 1, 2, and 3 here. I'm not gonna pull it out. Rocky 4 was released on CED too, and it's kind of valuable, just like Friday the 13th Part 5, Back to the Future. They were all released in '85. I got some horror ones. It seems like the horror films released on CED are more valuable than any. I have a couple. Graduation Day. I Spit on Your Grave, which is pretty rough to watch. But the copy of the disc is very, very clean. Mausoleum. And I got all the horror right here in front. And Phantasm. Okay. But my first collection I bought for $50 come with a player that did not work. Something was wrong with the motherboard. It could be fixed. So I ended up picking this one up and had a good motherboard on it, and it had a video of it playing on. I bought it on eBay, but the color was kind of warped, and it just needed some oil and lubrication. Need new belts. They run off belts, so you could purchase the belts for them. So I cleaned it up really well, oiled everything, replaced the belts, and it plays really, really well. Okay. Let me do a demonstration on how this thing works. I'll get you up closer, and then we'll do a demonstration. These are my duplicates. These are, when I bought these 2 different collections, these are my duplicates that I had 2 copies of. So I got them laid here. This is a Jesus of Nazareth video disc set here. So, all right. I'll get you up closer here to do a test. This player has only got coaxial cable coming in and out. The later ones had RCA jacks, you know, for the stereos, but this is a non-stereo. So let me drop the remote here, turn the TV on. This, push it down. L stands for loading. You got side 1, side 2. It'll light up as soon as I put a disc in. This is rapid access, forward and reverse. Visual search, forward and reverse. What this does, this is a kind of a fast forward, and this is just a slow fast forward. Pause, put it on pause. Okay. Let's, I'm going to do Phantasm because I want y'all to see the intros. So what you did is you put the disc, you flipped it to load, unload, and you put the disc in. All right, you see that where it says, got the focus there. Yes, it says side 1. That little piece will come out with a disc inside, and then this side says disc 2, or side 2, sorry. So you put it in, push it in all the way, and then you pull it right back out. And as you can see, the piece is gone. Lay this here, and see, as soon as you put the disc in there, see, as you can see, it says side 1 lit up. Then you just push this lever up to play. And we're ready to go. And there's a title of the film. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. You just push down the load. There we are. I want to cut this off because there's nudity in the very beginning of the film that I don't want to put in here. So, all right. You just push it in there, and there it is back in the disc. All right, I am going to play Friday the 13th, original one, because it has a different intro for the video discs. So put it in, pull it out, disc is in, up to play. That's the 2 intros that I know of. I mean, there may be a 3rd and 4th one, but these are the 2 that I know, and that's why I grabbed Phantasm and Friday Phantasm and Friday the 13th, because I knew they had the 2 different intros promoting the video discs. All right, we'll talk about the visual search and rapid access here. Now, as you can see, it says playtime 0. This is minutes. Like I was saying, there's 60 minutes on one side. They only could put 60 minutes of video on one side. And what this does is this counts by minutes. So when we get 5, see, there's one in. So each minute, like once we get 10 minutes into the film, it'll say 10 on there, 15, 20, 25, so on and so forth. Let's turn it up just a little bit. I mean, this actually, I've done some filming with my phone before of this, and it actually looks pretty good through this phone, but it actually looks, in person, it looks terrible, the quality. They say this is just a regular, LED flat screen. If I had a picture tube TV, it would look great. That's what I've heard, but they're just harder to find now. You know, and the way I've got this displayed, if I bought a small one, it'd be heavy. It's too heavy to sit on this. But, all right, let's do the visual search, and it's just a fast forward. See, it's just a kind of a simple fast forward. As I got it pushed in. And then reverse, as it just goes right into reverse. You know, and then pause. It blanks the screen out, so it's not like a VHS pause. You can see it blinking P for pause. So it blanks the screen out. But, you know, there's your pause. Turn it right back off, back into play, and there we are. Now, rapid access is a super fast forward, but it blanks the screen out just like the pause does. So we'll do that, and there it goes. It counts down real fast. Let's go by 15 minutes into the film. Yeah, it should come back.
Well, come on, let's go. I thought we had 2 weeks.
Come on, I'll show you where you can get changed.
Okay.
All right. Fast forward, rapid research. Oh, there's some skipping. Got to see a little bit of skipping. Now, these skip are notorious for skipping, just like phonograph records. So if there's any dust, that's why they put these in these caddies, these discs in these caddies, to protect them.
Thanks. I wish I had more time to do.
So there's dust, you know, it'll skip. Oh, some more skipping.
When did you test?
Last night,
Do I really look like that?
you did last night.
So, oh. Usually if it skips, it just jumps around and just it'll just jump over it. You know, advance itself.
Very pretty. This really isn't your fatigue.
All right.
Leave you happy. Put you on the bus.
All right. Let's do a little bit more rapid access here. 20, 23, 4, 5. Let's go about, let's go into about 40 minutes into the film. Whoop, 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 whoop. I can't remember if there's any nudity in this scene. Let's zip past this. You can hear the pops and cracks. You may be able to hear them on here, but I can hear them. It sounds, I mean, the quality is about like VHS, but. All right, let's turn it off, and let's flip the disc over. I'll show you. Just flip it over, side 2. Let's see where the film begins at. All right, as you can see, it says side 2 lit up. All right, play mode. Okay, yeah, they're playing Strip Monopoly.
Worst run of luck since Richard Nixon.
Well, you can always call it quits if you want to.
Fat chance you're 2 steps from Pacific Avenue in Skin City.
Let's do a little bit more visual search. Now, you see, sometimes if it gets to a point to where it's skipping, it'll just stay there and just make their heads will just jerk back and forth. It won't go over it, you know. So there's the. I'm going to fast forward to one of my favorite parts. This ain't it. Ten minutes in there. I mean, it's pretty clever, this equipment, how it worked. I mean, you know, it worked like Laserdisc and DVDs that came later. You know, you didn't have to rewind it, you know. But, you know, that was pretty good, you know, wherever you was left at in the movie. You know, wherever you just guessed at it, like, oh, we were watching. I guess what you did is, if you got to a point you wanted to shut the movie off for the night, and you memorize, you know, oh, we're number, and then you just rapid access until you get to that number again to pick up where you left off. I think these were rentable in the early 80s. This is my favorite part, and it's going to actually skip.
Oh, hi. What are you doing on this mess?
Oh, yeah, that's always my favorite part. What are you doing out in this mess? I get stabbed. Let's see. Like I said, this was developed in started development in 1964, and what I read is this was originally going to be released in 1977 instead of 1981, which I believe that if this was released in 1977, it would have been a lot more successful. But it was delayed 4 years until 81. It was done obsolete by the time it came out in 81. VHS, Laserdisc, Beta, because VHS was just so much smaller. This took up a lot of room. I mean, look how much room this takes up. But this takes up a lot of room. Let's turn this off. Put this disc back in. And yeah, as soon as you take the disc out, you know, the side 1, 2 light will come off. Let's put in Back to the Future. And side 1 lights up. Play. And it's easy. You just put it in there and flip that lever. Automatically does everything. Now, this does have no video disc opening credit advertising, because by the time this disc come out in 85, it was gone. It was, I think a lot of the early discs that come out in 81 had that. I could be wrong, but they dropped that. You know, they dropped that. You know, it was done flopped. You know, when this disc come out, they quit making players. Let's do visual search. As you can see, it's kind of skipping. It doesn't want to fast forward. And you can see, as you can see, the bottom half of the screen's kind of got some snow popping in there, and it's as you can see from here down, you can see the snow. It's just kind of coming in and out a little bit. Rapid advance. You can hear this thing making some racket playing. It vibrates pretty bad too, because it's a big disc. It turns like a phonograph record. It's 28 minutes in. Let's see where we're at. See, it's a little bit cleaner. As you can see, it doesn't have that snow on the bottom half. So usually what I've seen on these discs, that the beginning of it will be dirty, but when you get towards later in the disc, it cleans up a little bit. There we go. A little bit of jumping around, a little bit of skipping.
Doc, look me up when you get there. Hey, I will. Roll up.
as you can see, it's not really fast forwarding. It's stuck. It just, when I was doing the visual, see, there's a really bad spot on the disc right there. There it goes. See, it jumped over it. It jumped over it, but it wouldn't let me visual search past it. It had to automatically play over the skip part. See, now it's visual search. Oh, visual searching just fine. Oh, another skip part. See, it won't let me go past it. Yeah, this disc was in that first collection I bought that come with that other machine, and these were all stacked up. You're not supposed to stack them flat. You're supposed to lay them sideways. So it seemed like the disc that came in that second collection, the guy knew they were supposed to be stacked sideways, and they're in a little bit better shape. So this one was stored laying flat. So it's probably the reason why it's a little bit rougher shape. All right, let's put it back in there. Let's do side 2. We got plenty of time. Flip it over and see where side 2 is at. I mean, hear this thing. It sounds like a microwave going.
Buddy, that girl I introduced you to, Lorraine.
See, the beginning of this second side is actually in really good shape.
Stories.
It doesn't have much snow in it.
Visitors coming down to Earth from other planets.
Okay.
Get out of town. I didn't know you did anything.
All right. Let's turn it off. You just push it up. You got off, play, load, and unload. So that's it. If y'all want to know more about this, but you know, this is a super neat type of media. If you want to know more about it, Google it. Just type in CED, stands for capacitive electronic disc. There's a big old Wikipedia article on this. Tells you everything you want to know. There's a group. There's a couple of groups. There's parts available. CEDium. I think it's, you just type in CED parts, and it's what it's called, CEDium. And they sell the belts and help give repair services, because there's a group of dedicated fans of this thing. So, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one, and we'll take care. See you later, guys.